what is your name?
My name is Luuap. I go by whatever people want to call me, Paul or Luuap. And I prefer people do whatever they're comfortable with. A lot of people like to call me Paul in my chat, so
Okay,
stick with what you feel.
good. And how did you think of that name?
The name is Paul backwards. And believe it or not, I want to say at least once a stream, someone blows in with the realization, all caps, your name is Paul backwards. Oh my god. Long-time viewers all the time just come in that realization. Yeah, it's not super complex. I needed a name. Couldn't get it with just one U, so I had to throw in two. That's it.
So, what
Magic
games
was
do you
born.
play?
The games that I play right now is CounterStrike. It's my love and life. I've always played shooter games, so playing one on the PC right now is just, I don't know, CounterStrike's so much fun for me. I love every bit of playing it, streaming it, the whole thing. Fucking love it.
So, what is or was your career path?
Career path right now, well, for future or pre-existing, because future
Let's say now.
now. So right now I work as a full-time insurance agent. I've actually been doing that for I believe 5 years now, and put in 40 hours a week and then stream when I can. Ideally, I'd like to be streaming more, but kind of gotta get the best of both worlds, put in that work and see if I can cut back some hours and do more of what I like. There's nothing wrong with insurance, but streaming is so much more fun. It really is. So
I
I'd like to
agree.
do that a lot more.
Mm-hmm. So, what inspired you to begin streaming?
What inspired me to begin? So I always loved the idea of having a community or people to play with. I am the kind of person where I don't play games by myself. I don't like playing alone. I don't like playing single player games too much because of that aspect. Multiplayer is where it's at. So if I could get a community based off of what I like to do, which is playing with people that are entertaining, that I have fun playing with, then the community might like that too. So I see Twitch as an outlet to kind of bring that aspect of friendship or whatever. If you need somebody, I'm there, and hopefully I fill whatever spot that people like seeing in that playing with friend aspect of the game. I also see Twitch as a medium to reach out to the most amount of people that I could possibly reach out to. Like, my goal is to make an impact as best I can, a positive influence on people's lives, and Twitch is a great way to do that.
Perfect. So, how would you describe your stream?
The stream itself is, I don't know. I'm not a professional by any means at the game I play. I'm okay, but I'm no pro. I know a lot of people on Team DG are like that, but for a good reason. Just try to be entertaining, try to have those feel good, positive vibes. My one thing for my stream is I do not get frustrated on stream. I try not to get frustrated. I try not to do anything that would promote or show any kind of negative energy or like that. I just don't like that, I feel like people can go about their whole lives living in positive vibes, so why not do that, Promote it the best that I can and see if I can show people a good time. That's it.
So, I think you talked a little bit about your goal of streaming before when answering a previous question. So, I think that means what keeps you streaming is the next question.
What keeps me streaming? Well, like I said before too, yeah. Counter-Strike itself, for me, is just really fun. I really enjoy every aspect of it, and I like the idea that I can hop in, get a bunch of people involved, and make a very positive influence on people. And that is really, that's not a Twitch goal, that's kind of a life goal, in a way, to see if I can just better people's lives in any way I can, whether that be brighten their mood for the day or change their perspective on life to be less negative or less, because you'll see me on stream, I don't something stupid happens on stream, I don't have a rage fit about it. I just oh, cool, sweet, and I get over it. And a lot of people come to realize wow, I think things tend to go better if I don't have negative reactions or any kind of bad behavior to that kind of stuff. So by just being nice, by being positive, hopefully we can make a good impact with that.
So, what keeps you streaming? What do you enjoy most that keeps you going each day?
The days that I don't stream, I mean, I have community and people in the chat that are just, they're there to talk to each other. They're there to talk to me. They know that it's a community. They know that they can rely on the people who are in there to be somewhat of a friend to them, and just that expectation of, you know, having, I don't know, community is it. It really is. I mean, what keeps me streaming in total though, other than the community, my end goal, I guess, would be just to have fun with it. I mean, that's really what it is. It's just, I have fun with it, so I keep doing it. I don't see myself ever reaching an end goal. I'm not like, I mean, I'm pushing myself to get more of a reach every day because I think that's important, but it's not as, I don't see it as, oh, you know, today I didn't get as much, or, you know, I'm just happy to be there for when people need me, so that's it.
So let's see, where are we at here? Oh, how would you describe your community?
My community is a bunch of trolls. No, they're some of the best people that I've ever met. You know, when they see somebody who needs something, they'll rise to the occasion. They're always very helpful. There is literally no negativity in my chat, period. It's just not tolerated. It's frowned upon by people, and they won't bash on somebody for doing it. You get removed. That's it. You know, and then it's not so much as, we're not going to permanently ban you for being negative or something like that. You know, it's a quick like, hey, stop, chill, relax, refocus yourself, have a good time, damn it.
What is your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time. I came from a Halo background. I played the crap out of Halo. Halo 2 is by far my favorite game. I played Halo 3 probably the most because that's just when I had the most time to play it. But Halo 2 is my favorite game of all time. I'm a competitive player at heart, and that catered to everything that I liked. Honestly, what really got me into gaming in the first place, though, on that same vein, is I woke up one morning, Saturday morning, flipped on the TV, I think it was a USA channel or something like that, and I saw an MLG broadcast, a Halo 2 tournament. It was like final boss versus straight ripping, you know, two huge teams, and they're going at it. The commentators, the shoutcasters are like screaming up a storm. The crowd, there was apparently a crowd at the time that they had, you know, the comms over. They were going wild for all these crazy shots that people were doing. They were making a big deal out of it. But I thought, I was like glued in. I was like, this is the sickest stuff ever. I want to be a part of it. So competitive gaming, I was just like, you know, even if I don't go to tournaments and stuff like that, just finding, I don't know, just, I had friends who also saw that and they got involved in that. So every day I hop on, there'd be people willing to play or wanting to play. And then we get into that competitive aspect of it. And it's just, even if it doesn't seem like the most sportsman-like game in itself, it really, before, I want to say nowadays it's more sportsman-like. Back then, shit-talking was insane. Shit-talking was its own game back then. People loved that negativity, but I gotta be honest with you, it was pretty funny back then. Because back in Halo 2, you used to be able to hear people when you killed them, like proximity and all that, and people didn't used to play with headsets. They just had the TV, so people would be like reaching over the TV, like getting up in people's faces. It's funny. It really is. I mean, as long as they're not like super serious about it. But seeing those big tournaments definitely got me into Halo 2 and gaming in general. Just, I've always been a first-person shooter player from that day on. I love that aspect of it. I love being able to try to beat people. And
who are your stream senpais?
Stream senpais is a little bit hard to answer because I don't, when I first got into Twitch, I didn't really, I watched League of Legends, believe it or not. I don't play League, obviously. I used to play for a little bit, but I'd watch Dyrus, I'd watch like Phantom Lord, and the two comparisons are very contrasting because Phantom Lord, obviously he has nothing on Dyrus in terms of skill. He's close, but he doesn't quite have it. Like, we all watch Dyrus just lump out, he's gaming, no reaction at all most of the time, and then Phantom Lord is like, back when I was watching him, he would make me laugh like every couple of seconds. I'm like, this guy is hilarious. He's the first person I stepped to. And wait, what was the overall question again? The stream senpais?
Yeah.
When I got into CounterStrike, I started playing with who people know as the original Weed, and he's the one who first got me into CounterStrike in the first place. He thought he could teach me the game. he was somewhat right. And we played every day for quite some time. And he eventually grew at a phenomenal rate. His stream blew up. And I soaked some of that in. I was a part of the experience inside his stream, outside his stream, in the games and all that. I did a lot to help out his stream. And I thought to myself, if this is going as well as it is, one day he got his sub button. It took forever, so it was a little bit discouraging. But he worked at it. He really put in the time. It was very, very impressive. I will give hats off to that man. He has put in more work than anybody I know. He is so consistent with his streams every single day, sticks to that schedule. If something rarely did, stuff does come up, life happens, but if something does come up, he'd be on, his social media and stuff like that, telling the mods to change the title or something like that, let them know what happened. But he is so consistent in his schedule. He puts in so much time and effort in it outside of his stream. And I thought to myself, once he got that sub button, why not try myself, And that's pretty much when I started streaming, was back in July, 2014. And I went from there. I was like, you know what? If I put in even half that, because you can only do so much when you're working full time, but a lot of people already knew me from his stream too, so I had that to come over. A lot of people, he would plug it every once in a while and be like, oh, Paul's streaming now, if you guys want to go check him out. And people liked me and came over, and I was like, all right, already got starting. Pretty cool.
That is great. I love to hear that. So, let's see. What is your favorite part about streaming? Your favorite thing?
Favorite part? Now, how can I answer this uniquely?
You don't have to.
Well, compared to how I've already answered some other stuff. Favorite part about streaming? Well, honestly, streaming is nothing but the viewer interaction. I wouldn't just go on YouTube and make videos, and I don't, solely because of the fact that I like having that interaction, like seeing how people respond to certain things. But I like the fact that there's that sense of community, that sense of friendship that they can find by just chatting with me and literally chatting about anything. People tell me, how their day went, if they have problems going on. I'll give them my 2 cents or whatever, but I'm here to, obviously I do my fair share of talking, but I'm here to listen to people too. I literally read every single line of chat so long as I can. But, people like that about that too. And to me, that's fun. Every day of Twitch is a new story because I read so much chat. But yeah, I like that aspect of it, is seeing other people's lives and in a consolidated kind of way, because obviously I'm not seeing them in real life. I'm not seeing them in person. So I kind of get the best or the gist of what's going on in people's lives. And I don't know, it's a cool consolidated aspect of a social life in a way.
So, what advice would you give to young streamers that are starting out?
So this is really tough for most people to start up, because getting the support that they need to get going can somehow be difficult, and people kind of just plug away their hours without really doing anything to promote themselves. What you want to do is you want to find friends, like good solid people that can be in your stream during certain times that you're going to be streaming. First of all, stick to a freaking schedule. So plan to be live during certain hours and make sure that people can expect you to do that. Second of all, get people that you know to get involved in that, because you need friends to get into your chat and help talk to new people who come in, or help promote it to other people is one thing, but it's not the same if you don't have anybody in your chat that's not willing to take it serious or help it, like as if it were your own stream. Friends, family, all of that. So if you have somebody, like what I did with the original Weed when we first started streaming, was if someone came into the chat, I treated it like it was my own stream. I welcomed them. I made them feel at home. I conversed with them just the same. If he couldn't think of anything to talk about, I found something to talk about with that person. I kept them there. I kept them engaged, and I thanked them for being there, and wished that they would come back so we can keep talking about certain things, or and we keep it game oriented too. So we'd be like, all right, tomorrow he's going to be doing this, if you guys want to come watch this or check it out or whatever. And I think that's so important, because if you don't have a chat that's not welcoming, they're not going to chat. They're not going to engage with you. They may watch you for a little bit, but they're ultimately going to be like, okay, well, that was not really an engaging experience, and they're probably going to leave. So the chat is such a huge thing that you want to utilize. And so it's really important that you get somebody who can, someone who can volunteer a certain block of time to kind of get people engaged. So outside of that, I mean, really, I feel like that is the biggest point. But obviously, trying to promote yourself too is big. There's different things you can do: Reddit, YouTube. You gotta have a niche though. You gotta have something that people want to see. So like for League of Legends, you either go pro. I don't want to suggest that you be a girl streamer, but you definitely will grow faster if you were a female and thinking about streaming. And thirdly, if you are uniquely entertaining. So you have to have something that, in terms of what people see in their thumbnail, when they're scrolling through a list of people and the title, it has to be something unique. Sometimes doing a giveaway will get people to get in there. And really, whether they stick or not, that's ultimately on you, whether they stay, rather. But getting them in there in the first place, you have to think of ways to get people in there in the first place. Why should they check out your stream? Because if they're looking at a thumbnail and it's just someone who's been playing the game, ultimately focusing on it, I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing. They're going to look at that and be like, why should I want to watch this person? Right? So focus on things like that. And let's see, is there anything else? I think those are probably the biggest points.
I think they were good. I could use some of those points myself, actually. Yeah. So if you could change one thing about Twitch, what would you change?
Well, honestly, the thing that I wanted them to change the most was Twitch has always been a video game platform, and ultimately it started off with Justin TV being stream whatever the hell you want. And I actually did that back in 2008. That's something I forgot to follow up on. I first started streaming in 2008, believe it or not, and it was under a different channel name. And you could stream literally anything that you wanted. And I would literally get on there with some of my college friends. We were in a dorm, had nothing better to do. We're like, let's see if people want to watch us basically kind of whore ourselves out to the internet, doing whatever they want us to do, whatever would be entertaining for people. And literally what kept that going is just watching us do whatever and interact with the people who were chatting with us. And there weren't that many people streaming at that time, but so what I wanted to see from Twitch was the ability to stream whatever you wanted, not just something specific to video games. And they've actually brought that in. So they brought in music. They've brought in, I've seen people like do glass blowing and stuff like that. People who are actually working. That's cool, get people involved that way. That's really good for promoting. If you're a glass blower and you're doing your job on stream, people are making certain requests for you. That's your business. That's being self-promoted. That's awesome. And but the one thing obviously that we would change is there's got to be a way to get new streamers noticed. And you can't just rely on the teams that are forming, because really teams and people who are already established have no real obligation to find new talent. Or I guess they do. I guess they do, don't they? But Twitch in general, I mean, they're doing a little bit, but I feel like they could do more to make it easier for smaller streamers to get noticed, or people who are committed in putting in hours. Like, even if they had, hey, this person streamed for X amount of hours this month, let's give them some kind of promotion. That's one thing that I could do. That partner spotlight is great too, doing the videos. And yeah, really, there's so many good streamers out there who don't interact the way they do. They don't do necessarily what they could be doing because of the fact that they don't have that kind of following yet too, so it's very hard for people to get started. So they just need to make it a little bit easier for people to get started, I guess.
So where can we find you?
Twitch.tv/Luuap. 2 U's. It's Paul backwards with 2 U's.
Do you have social media as well?
I do. I have, my Twitter handle is /Luuap with an underscore at the end of it. My YouTube, you can do youtube.com/C/Luuap, because that's the vanity thing that they do. And I do have a Facebook, but I find that I don't really plug my Facebook, as it doesn't get the interaction or engagement that Twitter does. It just, people don't see the posts. So if you use Facebook, by all means, I do post on it, but I do tend to post more on Twitter.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Well, thank you for the interview. It's been fun.
Thanks. Bye.